What is up, Yoshis? My name is Beth and I run Steadfast Ascent. Today we're going to be talking about some tips and strategies for mixing on your headphones so that you can get the best sound that you are looking for without having to invest in studio monitors. Now, the process of mixing is the same whether you use monitors or whether you use headphones. You use your faders, you use your pan, you use effects, and then you cross-check it with a reference track to get a good, balanced, wonderful sounding sound. Now, the trick with headphones, because they are biased towards certain frequencies, usually bass frequencies, sometimes headphones come in and they automatically emphasize treble frequencies, so you have to learn how to mix in a way that compensates for the natural bias of the headphones. The first things first, make sure you use a good reference track, something that you're really familiar with and something that you know what it sounds like in a lot of different environments. Usually this is going to be your favorite song, but oftentimes if you are trying to write in a genre, you're going to want to choose a song that is similar enough to that genre that you can make similar artistic choices. So I already know what Relient K sounds like when I'm listening to it for music, and so I know what I want my music to sound like because it's a similar genre when I am mixing that music. So when I put it against each other, I can be like, oh, this is when I can hear what I'm doing right and wrong because I know what it's supposed to sound like. The next piece of advice I would give to you for mixing with headphones is to mix at a low volume. This is mostly because you want to take care of your ears. When it comes to mixing, your ears are the things that are telling you this sounds good or this doesn't sound good. And if it doesn't sound good, your ears are the only thing that's going to be able to be there to help you determine between effects or between volume fading or between panning if that is actually improving the sound or not improving the sound. So making sure that you keep your mixing volume low. You want to make sure that it is especially low if you're going to be doing it for long periods of time so that you don't get fatigued. And this is my third tip, which is to take breaks. You don't realize that your ears are getting tired because, you use them all day. But when you're super focused on the sound like you are when you're mixing, they get tired a lot faster. And so it's a good practice not only to protect your ears and take care of them because they're doing all of this work, but also to just keep them fresh to the sounds that you are doing and the changes that you're making with your mixing. The other thing about mixing at a low volume is that if you can get it to sound sweet, super quiet, when you turn it up, it will almost never sound worse. A lot of people think loudness equals goodness, and so they make this mistake where they are mixing way too loud and they're like, oh yeah, it sounds awesome, but then you turn it down and you can't differentiate the snare from the kick, and it's like, oh, this actually doesn't even sound that great unless I blare it. And yes, people listen to music at a blared volume, but people also have to listen to music quietly, and people are also concerned about their ear health, and so you want to make it so that your mix sounds good quiet. Once you have completed your mix in your headphones and it's sounding good, you've used your reference track so you know what it should sound like, always make sure to check your mix on something else. Even if that's just your computer speakers, I personally use my car speakers because you will find that your headphones are doing things that you did not realize they are doing. My vocals, whenever they first come out of my headphone mix, are always cranked up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot hear anything except for these vocals. Which honestly, I just compensate for. Usually when I'm mixing, I try to mix my vocals low, and they always end up way too loud. This is fine though because I check my mix and I am able to say, oh, my vocals are way too loud. I go back into the DAW, I drop the vocals, I make sure it sounds good in my headphones, and then I check it on another set of speakers so that I know what's actually happening and I'm not getting that bias in my headphones sounding way aggressive. And this will also help you in terms of just keeping the sound balanced and learning how to compensate for the specific biases of your set of headphones. Which leads me to my fifth point, which is to take notes and make sure that you make presets that help you in advance to compensate for, your headphones. My vocal chain right now has 7 plugins because I always tend to overmix my vocals, and so I'm like, no. I don't want them to be too loud. I'm just gonna throw this on there and leave it at a 0 dB, and then when I play it back, I admittedly still have issues, but at least I am planning to fix those issues in advance. Mixing with headphones is a great thing. The thing I love about it so much is that I can take my laptop anywhere, and as long as I have my headphones, I can get mixing work done. Now, granted, I do have to compensate, but that's all just part of the game. So if you have any tips or tricks below for the rest of us on how we should strategize to get the most out of our headphones and our mixes and not make mistakes, and or maybe reference suggestions, please let us know. We are growing together here, and I would love to hear what you have in terms of wisdom or stuff that's worked for you that I haven't mentioned in this video. Speaking of this video, if it has helped you at all, it helps me so much if you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this one about mixing, mastering, home recording, feel free to subscribe because videos like that drop on this channel once a week. And if you have made it this far, I would just like to thank you so very much for watching.